He doesn't. I'll tell you what. The one thing he doesn't want to do is fight Mike.
No.
Yeah, he wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape too.
Oh my God.
Mike trains every.
Joe Rogan has made a bold and urgent appeal. Rogan, known for his candid and outspoken views, has taken a firm stance, demanding Jake Paul withdraw from the impending fight against Tyson. Meanwhile, Tyson is putting in a relentless effort to prepare for his upcoming showdown with Jake Paul.
He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. And Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson, and Tyson smashing the mitts, like, Jesus, that guy can still fuck.
Tyson seized the opportunity to share insights from his 4th training session with his followers on the X platform. As Mike Tyson steps onto the platform, his very existence demands attention and respect.
Day 4, it was okay, but you don't know that you got in store, baby. You got to face the God of War. And get ready, baby. Fire in the house.
The ex-heavyweight champion exudes an aura of strength and intimidation, with his intense stare delivering a message of steadfast focus and resolve. Meanwhile, Patrick Beverley, the former colleague of LeBron James and now a guard for the Milwaukee Bucks, issued a cautionary message to Jake Paul. Beverley's warning came on the heels of Tyson's recent training footage, which left him in awe and apprehension. The Milwaukee Bucks guard expressed his incredulity regarding the problem child stepping into the ring with one of boxing's most formidable punchers in history. He found it astonishing that anyone would dare to face Tyson. Beverley tweeted, "Man, you all leave this man alone." Similarly, Paul George has predicted the winner of the upcoming bout.
It don't matter. Mike ain't scared to get hit.
I think it matters if Mike goes out there and he's really trying to knock him out. Like, is he gonna? I hope he doesn't go out there.
I think he's going to do that. I think that's what he's going to do.
It's going to make for great entertainment for sure.
George confidently forecasted a victory for Mike Tyson over Jake Paul. George expressed his belief that it's challenging to wager against Tyson, despite his advancing age. He said, "I don't care about the age gap. He's actually fighting a boxer. He's not fighting an MMA guy. He's not fighting a wrestler. He's not fighting an entertainer. He's fighting a boxer. I don't care how old the difference in age gap is. Mike ain't scared to get hit." Paul George isn't the sole basketball figure to weigh in on the Tyson-Paul showdown. Gilbert Arenas holds firm in his conviction that Tyson won't succumb to Paul.
I don't like it, man.
I agree. I feel like I understand wanting to be famous, and I understand building yourself, and I understand wanting to be a boxer as well.
He asserts that the only plausible scenario for such an outcome is if Iron Mike deliberately takes a dive, relinquishing victory on purpose. Arenas said on his podcast, "Just an accidental right hook or something, you're dead. You're not built for these types of hits. So if you even last, we already know it's scripted." Renowned UFC icon Henry Cejudo has recently launched a captivating podcast alongside fellow legend Kamaru Usman, boasting direct connections within the combat sports realm. In his latest episode, he tantalizingly alluded to the anticipated purse for the upcoming fight. He said, "I mean, you know what? I respect Uncle Mike, and I guarantee you, if I know that. But it obviously takes 2 to tango, and I feel like there is probably a really good payday for Mike." Ever since the news broke, individuals have been fervently sleuthing to uncover the precise remuneration each fighter stands to receive from Netflix. Should this bout garner universal attention, the metrics currently under discussion would pale in comparison to the colossal earnings Netflix stands to reap from this spectacle. Cejudo added, he's probably going to wind up making close to about 20 millionaires as he's about to turn 58. I mean, literally, Jake Paul's 27, Mike Tyson is 57. However, while both fighters are indeed enjoying significant paydays in the 8-digit range, it's possible they may not be as lofty as anticipated. Consider this. Despite facing off against a semi-professional boxer, Mike Tyson remains a magnet for the spotlight.
I brought guys for Jake Paul to spar when he were getting ready for Nate Robinson and Ben Askren. I've seen him in the gym a lot. I used to be BJ Flores' coach, his coach at those times. So I was in the gym with them a lot. By the way, real cool guy. Nothing like the people probably would.
Having raked in paychecks exceeding $100 million for his most monumental bouts. On his Pound for Pound podcast, Kamaru Usman, known as the Nigerian Nightmare, didn't hold back in criticizing Jake Paul's choice to step into the ring with the veteran boxer Mike Tyson. He said, "At some point, someone has to be guiding this kid's career. Do you want to be taken seriously as a boxer? Or do you want to just be that famous YouTuber that did the boxing thing?"
I've been knowing Mike Tyson since the 90s. Mike's an awesome guy, an incredible guy. He's helped our team. So it's a sensitive situation for me at 58. The way Mike looks on the pads and everything, he can still do.
Usman further added that while he believes Jake Paul has talent and the potential to become skilled at boxing, he questioned the cost at which Paul expects to be respected by professional fighters, including himself as a real fighter. Usman added, "Because I do think he's talented, and I do think Jake Paul can get good at boxing. But at what cost? You expect me, as a professional fighter, as a real fighter, to respect you for this?" The streaming giant is about to break new ground by stepping into the realm of live combat sports broadcasting with the highly anticipated Paul versus Tyson fight. This is why Schultz expressed his belief that even those who occasionally watch combat sports would find it relatively simple to engage with the fight, potentially propelling it to become the most watched boxing event in history. The comedian actor remarked similarly. Among those caught up in the excitement was Dewey Cooper, who found himself fixated on two pivotal words upon learning of the matchup. Cooper mentioned his frequent interactions with Paul in the gym during that time, as he was coaching BJ Flores, who was Paul's coach then. Cooper described Paul as a genuinely nice person, contrary to what many might assume. Additionally, Cooper noted his long-standing acquaintance with Mike Tyson, dating back to the 1990s. He praised Tyson as an incredible person who has contributed positively to their team, expressing that the situation is a delicate one for him due to his connections with both fighters. Moreover, Cooper emphasized that Tyson's perspective is heavily influenced by his age, acknowledging that the allure of financial opportunities is simply too compelling for anyone to ignore. Cooper said, "At 58, the way Mike looks on the pads and everything, he can still do it. Just, will he be dedicated to training for a real camp? And will he take Jake Paul seriously? Does Jake Paul have enough to motivate Mike Tyson? Is the biggest question in my mind. If he does, it's a serious fight for Jake Paul. If he doesn't, then Jake Paul has an opportunity to beat an iconic legend." Cooper expressed his preference for Jake Paul to fight younger boxers, such as having a rematch with Tommy Fury instead of facing Mike Tyson. However, he acknowledged the significant box office draw and public excitement surrounding a match against Tyson. According to Cooper, "I would rather Jake Paul fight some young boxers, have a rematch with Tommy Fury, something like that, versus Mike Tyson. But I understand that it's going to be a big box office and people are going to be excited about it." Furthermore, Cooper conceded that if there is public demand for the match and both fighters are agreeable, then the fight should proceed. He concluded with a note of anticipation, stating that the outcome remains to be seen. Cooper added, "I just hope both fighters are okay. That's a high number in age to be fighting young guys, but if the world wants to see it, and both men are willing, let's do it. We'll see what happens there." Similarly, UFC legend Daniel Cormier has given his insanely honest take on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Speaking to ex-UFC welterweight contender Ben Askren, he said, "It might ruin you if he just beats on Mike Tyson. He's in a no-win situation." Cormier vehemently criticized the upcoming bout, suggesting that Paul hasn't properly considered its ramifications. Askren, who suffered a first-round defeat to Paul, replied, "Yes, I don't disagree. Especially if it's kind of like, I don't want to say something disrespectful because it's fighting." Daniel Cormier added that perhaps there shouldn't be too much respect involved in the fight. He suggested that if Tyson were to become fatigued and perform poorly, being easily picked apart, viewers might criticize the pay-per-view event, questioning its value and expressing disappointment in the quality of the match. Cormier further stated his concern about the audience's reaction, emphasizing that if the fight appears to be of low quality, viewers might express their dissatisfaction openly. Cormier also speculated on the potential consequences if Jake Paul were to knock out Mike Tyson impressively, suggesting that such an outcome could significantly impact Tyson's reputation. He said, "Why am I watching this? This is awful. I don't want to watch this. If he knocks Mike out, like if he just starches Mike Tyson, it might be over." The problem child is 30 years younger than Iron Mike and boasts 6 knockouts on his professional record. Cormier suggests that a victory over Tyson by knockout might signify the conclusion of his journey in the boxing realm. Adding to the anticipation is Niraj Goyat, an emerging boxer who is now affiliated with Most Valuable Promotions. Sharing his insights and predictions for the much-anticipated showdown in a recent interview, Goyat was asked to predict the outcome of the match between Tyson and Paul. Despite his ongoing feud with his current employer, Jake Paul, he sided with the problem child over Tyson. Nonetheless, he acknowledged Tyson's significant contributions to the sport of boxing.
I'm not saying from a standpoint of him taking money to take a dive. I just saying this dude look like he know where his job is. He's supposed to find somewhere to lay down on this canvas, and when that punch is thrown, he's supposed to.
He noted, Jake Paul is at his peak. Yes, Mike Tyson has come. It's been a long time since he left boxing. No one can beat Mike Tyson's skills. He's my hero. One of the prominent criticisms directed at the Arlington-based bout is its apparent lack of parity. The significant age gap between the contenders has stirred considerable apprehension among boxing pundits and enthusiasts. Adding to this concern is the fact that Iron Mike will be returning to the ring after a 4-year hiatus, following his last encounter with Roy Jones Jr. Goyat added, "You're fake, Paul. Jake Paul, he's also training, isn't he? And he's also young. Peak means he's young. Also, the fight is going to be great. About the result, no prediction can be made. It's hard to predict who will win or lose, but I feel the chances are that Jake Paul will do better because of the age factor." Despite skepticism from some, UFC commentator Joe Rogan maintains that Tyson possesses the necessary skills to dismantle Paul. Rogan said on his podcast, "Just forget that Jake Paul is a YouTube guy and watch him fight. The kid can fight 100%. That Tommy Fury fight really showed that. It goes to a split decision against a legit, undefeated boxer." Rogan continued expressing his disregard for Tyson's age, emphasizing that despite being 55, Tyson remains a formidable figure. He highlighted Tyson's training with Rafael Cordero to underline Tyson's continued strength and capability. Rogan was particularly impressed by the sight of Tyson hitting the mitts with force during training sessions. If he's 55, that's still Mike Tyson. He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson, and Tyson is smashing the mitts.
When his opponent was walking out to the ring, I looked in dude's face and I was like, yo, he got that face like he know what he's supposed to do tonight. He's supposed to find somewhere on this mat to lay down, and when that perfect punch is thrown, he gonna lay down. And
that's what you meant?
That's exactly.
Additionally, Rogan mentioned the modern advantages that could aid Tyson, including hormone replacement, vitamins, and advanced recovery techniques like electrical muscle stimulation, suggesting these could further enhance Tyson's physical condition and performance. He added, "In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins, he does all this electrical muscle stimulation recovery stuff." Rogan further emphasized the modern scientific approaches utilized during Tyson's training for the fight against Roy Jones Jr. He maintained his stance that, regardless of Tyson's age, he remains a formidable opponent capable of causing harm. Rogan further added, "When they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight, they were using state-of-the-art science. If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson bobbing and weaving, he's going to have a recognition," Rogan predicted, saying that Jake Paul would have a moment of realization when faced with Tyson's classic fighting style in the ring. He also remarked on the persistent power and surprisingly retained speed of Tyson at his age, which he finds terrifying. He's going to look over and go, "Oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson at 55? The power is the last thing to go, but the thing is, the speed is still there. It's terrifying." Rogan speculated about the nature of the fight between Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., suggesting that there might have been an understanding to avoid face punches, as Tyson primarily targeted the body, aside from using jabs. According to Rogan, "I don't know what he did with Roy Jones Jr., but in my mind, they made some sort of agreement where Mike wasn't going to punch him in the face because most of the hits he hit him with, unless it was a jab, were to the body." Yet amidst the anticipation, one can't help but wonder, Will this showdown between two contrasting boxing personas indeed come to fruition? As the impending clash draws near, a flurry of criticisms has already begun to swirl among the skeptics. A substantial faction doubts whether this bout will ever materialize. Adding weight to this skepticism is none other than Shawn Porter, who harbors doubts about the likelihood of Paul facing off against Mike Tyson on July 20th. Porter aired his doubts unequivocally on his podcast. Porter stated, "I'm not excited, and that's why I don't think the fight is happening. I think for something like this to happen, it takes more than 4 to 5 days to make something like this happen."
Tyson has a chance. Jake, they're saying, is the favorite.
Yeah, if Tyson's taking a dive, it's the favorite. But if Tyson hits him, it's over.
So,
hey, by the way, last thing to go is power.
Interesting.
Last thing to go is power. He hits me.
Porter delved into his lack of enthusiasm for the highly anticipated showdown between Tyson and Paul. He stands out among enthusiasts for his skepticism regarding the authenticity of the bout, suggesting it might be a mere spectacle for the fans. Porter's doubts stem from the remarkably swift announcement of the match coming just 5 days after Jake Paul's previous fight, leaving little room for proper negotiation and planning. He remarked, "And what I'm saying is, I don't think that through the course of him having a fight in Puerto Rico, he never mentioned, yeah, we're going to get this bum out of the way, and I got something real exciting for y'all after that." Porter believes that Jake Paul would have said something about this event in his last fight, or even around that time. He added, "Never said anything like that. And then after the fight is dry. As it ended, as dry as it was. You gotta do something to get us excited and get us pumped up." Porter harbors doubts regarding the secrecy surrounding any pre-existing discussions about the fight, questioning why Jake Paul hasn't made them public if they truly existed. He added, "You didn't know that this fight was on the horizon? I don't think this fight will get made in 4 to 5 days." On Jake Paul's end, there's a relentless push to hype up the fight daily. If it falls through, it would be a colossal letdown for boxing enthusiasts.
"Would you wrestle Kyle Snyder for charity?" I'm like, no. He's going to beat the brakes off of me. He won't like play with me. He won't give me anything to make me feel good about this.
Paul has even addressed the swirling rumors regarding the fight's rules. Without hesitation, Paul denounced the misinformation, branding those who bought into it as idiots. While the official rules remain undisclosed, Paul's fiery response suggests a more traditional fight. He said, "I feel for any dumbass who believes that, and I would never let my fans down in a fight like this and wear headgear. Come on now, people." His manager echoed a similar sentiment, shutting down the rumors through his Instagram. UFC star Chuck Liddell is the latest to weigh in on the bout. Liddell told TMZ that he thought Tyson was still capable of taking out Paul with a single blow. Liddell said, "As soon as Tyson hits him, it's over." Liddell stated he thinks the former heavyweight champion still has what it takes to win. He said, "The last thing to go is power. Last thing to go is power. If he hits him, it's over." When asked if he had any advice for Paul, Liddell offered a simple response: "Keep covered up, man." On the other hand, the WBO welterweight champion of the world, Tim Tszyu, expressed his thoughts on the impending bout between Paul and Tyson. Tszyu said, "First of all, this fight will bring a lot of attention to the sport. I love Mike Tyson. Grew up on his fights. I hope he doesn't get hurt." Tszyu acknowledged that the fight would draw significant attention to boxing, a sport he loves and for which he has a deep respect, largely due to growing up watching Tyson's matches. He expressed his admiration for Tyson and his hope that the legendary boxer remains unharmed. Tszyu further added, "Jake Paul is doing good things too, but it's weird to fight Tyson. I wouldn't do that. I'm a connoisseur at heart. Whether the fight will live up to the colossal expectations or fall short remains to be seen." However, the sheer volume of conversation and the wide range of perspectives underscore the fight's significance in the cultural zeitgeist. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.